Do you always want to build a web applications but you don't know what the right tools, right frameworks to use, and also you don't even know how to publish your website? In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to set up a local web development environment and take it to the cloud. Welcome back to Lead Tutorial. Today, I'm going to show you how to set up a web development environment so that you can use it to build web applications like portfolio websites, name attendance taking systems, and also e-commerce web store. First of all, let's take a look at the tools required. We'll need something that allows us to edit our source code, and then we need a place to store our source code. After that, we want to be able to test our applications locally, and lastly, we want to take it to the cloud and publish it. First of all, let's download and install Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code is a code editor where we can use it to edit our source file like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Download and install it and then set it aside. We'll come back and use it later. The second tool that you need is Node.js. Node.js allows us to run JavaScript in the backend, so we can use it to develop and test our applications locally. All we have to do is to download Node.js and install it. Doesn't really matter which version that you choose. We can always choose the LTS, which is the long-term support version, and download it, install it, and we'll come back and use it later. Then, we will also need a GitHub account. We use GitHub mainly as a repository to help us to keep a copy of our source code and also maintain its version. Lastly, you will need a Netlify account. Netlify is a platform for us to host our web applications. Now you can directly link it with your GitHub so that later on we can push from GitHub to Netlify without too much of a hassle. To recap, we have installed Visual Studio Code for us to edit our code, and also we have downloaded and installed Node.js for local development, and we have signed up for the GitHub account as a repository to keep our source code, and last but not least, we also got a Netlify account for our hosting. Now that we have set up our environment, let's see how we can use it to build a web applications and then bring it live. Let's start off with a GitHub repository called Nux template. So go to the URL github.com/deleteio/Nux template and click on the fork button. The fork button works like a folder state function, so as is shown, you have now made a copy of the Nux template to your own repository and your own account as is shown here. Let's open our Visual Studio Code, and you will see that over the left hand side there's a clone repository. So we can clone our GitHub repository that we have just created to our local machine. So we can do that by clicking the clone or download button. And there's URL here for us to copy. So we just click on the copy button, go back to Visual Studio, paste it here, enter, and just pick a directory. For me, I want to save it in my documents folder. So just select document and select repository location. And you will start to clone the repository into your local machine, and after it has completed, just open it, and now you have successfully cloned a GitHub repository to your local machine. Now we're going to see whether we can run and test our website on our local machine first. First of all, go to terminal and start a new terminal. Then we'll use the npm install command to download the required packages for our web application. npm stands for Node Package Manager. You can also find many other packages that help us to speed up our work over there. After the npm installation process is done, let's use the npm run dev command to test the application on our local machine. Let's just wait for the applications to generate the client and server code. Once it's ready, you are able to browse your web page on localhost port 3000. Congratulations, you have now successfully set up your local web development environment. Let's go ahead and make some changes before we publish it online. Let's say we want to replace the original logo in the template file to our own logo, so we can drag and drop our logo file to the static folder. Static folder is a place where we keep our static file like images. And then we can go to our component folder to modify our logo.view component. Just replace the SVG in the middle with an image tag. And the file name will be /bakerylogo.png. Save it. Go back to our browser and you can see that the page is automatically refreshed with our new logo. Next, we're going to change the text on our website. So go back to your Visual Studio Code editor and look for pages. And under pages, there's only a single page, which is our main page index.vue. And let's edit our main title to the Little Bakery and our subtitle to be Baking Happiness Every Day. Again, save it and go back to our browser. You can see that it has updated automatically as well. Okay, cool. Now our website is running fine on our local machine. Let's take it to the cloud so that everybody can access it. But before we do that, we have to make sure that we have committed all the changes that we have made and push them to the GitHub. To do so, we can go to the source control panel, the third icon here. Click on it and it will show us the files that we have made changes. In the message section, let's describe what are the changes that we have done. For example, add logo and updated titles. And then click on the three dots icon, select commit all. Then click always. And now all of our changes have been committed successfully, meaning that it has been returned to the Git repository in our local machine. Next, we're going to push the changes from our local machine to the GitHub repository. So click on the three dots again, select push, and we can see that there's a small timer there showing that we are pushing our code to GitHub. And once the timer disappears, it means that we have successfully pushed our code to GitHub. The final step is to publish our website to the cloud platform. Let's head back to netlify.com. Click the new site from Git button, and then select GitHub as our Git provider. And then select the GitHub repository that we have just published, which is the Nux template. And for the build command, let's type in npm run generate so that it will generate the static pages for us. And for the publish directory, we just put in dist. And then click deploy site. Wait for a while. And you can see that the status here has been updated from site deploy in progress to a proper URL address. This is the URL address to your web application. Just click on it and you can see that your web application is published successfully. You can also set up a custom domain name if you want to and get a free HTTPS certificate as well. And by now, you have learned how to set up a web environment with the right tools, frameworks, and also how to test it locally and bring it to cloud. Now go ahead and share your URL with your friends and families, ask for their feedback, and leave them in the comment as well. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down too. Alright, thank you, and I'll see you in the next episode.